Hey, so this week we are going over photosynthesis. So, what do you know about photosynthesis? What organelle is necessary for photosynthesis? So, if you think back to our review last week over the different cell parts, our cell part that is necessary for photosynthesis is going to be a chloroplast. So, photosynthesis will be happening in the chloroplast of the cell. Also, bless you, Joaquin. So, what organelle is necessary for photosynthesis? That's going to be our chloroplast, which is located only in our plant cells. Okay, so not in animal cells, only in our plant cells. So, photosynthesis. So, with photosynthesis, you want to be able to demonstrate on a model the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis, showing how light is turned into chemical energy. So our chemical energy that light is going to be turned into in this case is our glucose, our sugar that we talked about when we were talking about carbohydrates. So with photosynthesis is the ability to turn sunlight into chemical energy stored in the bonds of carbohydrates, specifically our glucose molecule and our starch molecules. Chemical energy is ATP, one of our nucleic acids. Remember adenosine triphosphate. So ATP breaks down into ADP, adenosine diphosphate, and releases energy for active use in the body. Our electron carrier in this situation is going to be an ADP plus. This assists with transferring electrons and making energy. So, what uses photosynthesis? Okay, so autotrophs obtain energy by using sunlight to make their own food. So, examples of autotrophs would be plants that use photosynthesis to create glucose. So, pretty much all of our plants are going to go through photosynthesis. They're discovering some animals that might be able to go through photosynthesis, but they're still doing research on those. So far, it's only a few bugs. The majority of animals are going to fall into what is known as heterotrophs. So, heterotrophs obtain energy by eating other living things, whether that be plants or other heterotrophs. So, for example, you would eat an apple, you survive by eating something that used photosynthesis to create sugar, or eating something that ate something that used photosynthesis. So, like if you eat a cheeseburger, like the beef on your cheeseburger is going to be you eating something that ate something that used photosynthesis. So, the cow eating the grass. So, what goes into photosynthesis? Okay, so if you remember back to chemistry, we have our reactants and our products. So, our reactants are what is going in to this chemical reaction, and our products is what's being produced. So, what goes into photosynthesis is going to be our water. So, we're going to have 6 H2O molecules, 6 carbon dioxide molecules. This is going to be activated by light. So remember, photosynthesis is going to need sunlight to continue on with the process. And our products, what's going to be produced is sugar and 6 oxygen. Okay, so 1 sugar molecule, 6 oxygen. So with our oxygen here, this isn't something that plants need a lot of. They will use it for cellular respiration because plants also go through cellular respiration. And cellular respiration, you are going to need both of these products. Okay. But with our plants, they're not purposely making oxygen for us. It just happens to be what is known as a byproduct where they also make it. So, how do these reactants and products get in and out of the plant? So, our roots, okay, they suck up water from the ground with other nutrients. So, as we talked about before when we were talking about water, our xylem, it's a tube like structure that allows for water molecules to use cohesion to travel up the plant. So, our water molecules are able to start at the root, come in, and travel up the plant to the leaves. So our roots also stores some of our sugars, like our starches, for later use. Our leaves are going to absorb sunlight into the chloroplast in the leaf cells. So if we remember back to the opener, our chloroplast is our cell organelle that allows for photosynthesis. So our stomata is also located on a leaf. This is just a pore that allows for gas exchange. So this allows for oxygen to leave the plant and for carbon dioxide to go into the plant. So CO2 goes in, oxygen moves out. Our chloroplast. So our chloroplasts are an organelle where photosynthesis takes place. So thylakoids are stacks of photosynthetic membrane containing chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll is going to be the green pigment that absorbs all light except for green, which is why it reflects green and why it looks green. Okay, so absorbed light creates extra electrons in the plant, which can be stored as energy. So the light colors that get best absorbed by our chloroplast are going to be our blue and our red because they're on opposite sides of the color spectrum and they are farthest away from green. So what happens with photosynthesis in the chloroplast? So two reactions occur in photosynthesis. The first one is called light-dependent reactions. These can only happen when the sun is out. So these require direct light and the activity of chlorophyll and the thylakoids to make energy-rich ATP. Water is required in these reactions as hydrogen is used as a source of electrons. O2 gets released as a byproduct. Okay? Our second type is light-independent reactions. Light-independent reactions require carbon dioxide with ATP and NADH to make sugars in the chloroplast. This does not need sunlight to work. This releases ADP and NADP plus as a byproduct. So this section where we're making the sugars, this will continue to go until they run out of reactants, but it does not rely on sunlight to actively be making sugars. So if you look here, like in our thylakoids, our first steps are going to require our water and our carbon dioxide, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this will require our water and our carbon dioxide. We're going to have ATP and NADH going into our light independent reaction, and we are going to be having our sugars coming out